diagnosed with autism spectrum disorder in 2020. That's up from 1 in 44 just 2 years ago. The rate of diagnosis among Hispanic children has outpaced that of white children. Health experts say this is because of improved screening and autism services, but challenges still remain. Hispanic women or Hispanic children are diagnosed about 2.5 years later than non-Hispanic children. October is also National Disability Employee Awareness Month. Only 1 in 5 people with disabilities, including autism, have a job. Tony Hernandez is a Autism Response Team Associate with Autism Speaks. And Tony, good to see you. You have autism spectrum disorder. Tell us about your journey, when you were diagnosed, where are you on the spectrum, and also, more importantly, what is it like trying to find a job?
Well, good evening. Thank you so much for this opportunity. Well, I'm just one story. I was diagnosed with autism at age 3, and being born and raised in the island of Puerto Rico, and I went through different struggles. Some of your viewers may see me as talking normal, but it was a process. Therapies. I was nonverbal to age 4, struggled with social communication, difficulty making friends, and anxiety disorder. It's been through ups and downs, dealing with social rejection, bullying in school, and especially employment, dealing with discrimination and dealing with dealing with the stereotypes. But through hard work, support, and training for people that that I care about, that care about me, family and teachers, and in school and work, I was able to gain the necessary experience to be able to become fully independent in my life, working in different jobs like customer service, sales, and today being part of the Autism Response Team, serving our community across the country.
Tony, we all want to believe our little Janes and Johnnies are angels when we send them off to school. That's not true. What was it like for you with your other students when you were growing up?
It was a struggle making friends. A lot of times I didn't understood what they say. A lot of times they make jokes when I was in school, but I had the difficulty in processing those jokes. And as a result, I went through different types of situations with social rejection. They made fun of the way I was, the way I talk. They called me weird. They called me different names, and it didn't get better throughout my school life. Bullying is one of those biggest challenges that our autism community, especially our kids that live on the spectrum, live every day, and a concern that parents have across the country. But it's very important as a society to talk about these issues, to talk more about creating more inclusive and more acceptance in our schools for students on the autism spectrum.
Tony, as we pointed out, autism is being diagnosed among Hispanic children these days at a greater rate than their white counterparts. What are some of the barriers that are preventing parents from getting the diagnosis early?
Well, right now the prevalence is, according to the latest CDC data, is 1 of every 36 children. But in terms of, there have been progress in terms of minorities, especially in the Hispanic community. One challenge that we had within the Hispanic community were the stereotypes, culture, for example, denial from parents in regards to autism, not recognizing their loved one may or may not have autism. Funding, income disparities, language barriers are some of the challenges within our Hispanic community, that live with autism. It's one of the challenges that I work with every day in the Autism Response Team. There's a lot, there's been progress, but a lot more needs to be done to breach those disparities.
Tony, I've noticed that my children were much more tolerant than my generation was, and my grandchildren are much more tolerant than my children were. It's National Disability Employee Awareness Month. What are some of the challenges that job seekers with autism still experience, and how do they overcome those challenges? And talk to the employer who may say, I want to hire that person, but...
Well, right now, only 20% of autistic or persons with autism are employed. Unfortunately, many employers are unaware or have stereotypes about people with autism. They have this image, out there in society that a person with autism cannot do this certain job or can only do this specific job. They're concerned with behavior. They may be a troublemaker. But I can tell you that, for employers out there, there's a great pool of tremendous talent out there. To hire adults, people with autism, and they can be a great asset for your business. And we have a program in our organization that can be of great help and support for our employers, which is called the Workplace Inclusion Program. It's for employers, job seekers, and community stakeholders who are committed to promoting diversity in hiring. It offers online training courses for employees of all backgrounds, and it's a great support for employers. So I invite all of our employers to look into our program. It's a great tool to be able to give the opportunity to these great individuals that have great talent and they can contribute in the marketplace.
Tony, before I let you go, a lot of employers nowadays are afraid of different, anything that is different. When I was growing up, it was black children. Now it is autism, people on the spectrum. Talk to that employer and say, don't be afraid of people like me, and tell them why, and tell them how hard they may need to push to get you in the door and the difference that it might make.
I will invite all employers across our country to go beyond a stigma, go beyond a disability, and focus on the abilities of people with autism. I'm a great example of that. I have worked jobs in customer service that people even told me that I'm not supposed to work those jobs. Work in media and now working as an advocate for this community. It is nothing is impossible, and I invite employers to embrace the differences because that's what makes our economy strong, and especially in our great country.
Tony, I remember my third grade teacher who said I couldn't read. Tony Hernandez with Autism Speaks. Thanks for being with us tonight.
My pleasure.
You got it. Up next, there is a new twist on one of your favorite dips. We'll tell you about a green surprise in one special batch of guacamole and who gets a chance to eat it. Stay with us.
How can a photo become a vibrant part of your home? When you go to tryfracture.com and print your images directly on glass. Get beautiful depth and clarity on a sleek, frameless print that's easy to hang and looks incredible in any space. Go to tryfracture.com now to save 20% on glass prints.
Time to get up, sweetie.
Most people might not think much about all the little things they do every day. But for me, just being able to do those little things is the best part of my day. Ready, Mom? It hasn't been easy, but sometimes the hardest things in life have the best rewards. And it's all because of my amazing friends at the Spartans Hospitals for Children and people like you who support them every month. When you call the number on your screen and just give $19 a month,